How to create a better brand in 7 days. Hi, my name is Emery Barber. I'm the principal and founder of ebcreativemedia.com, and I'm glad that you decided to join us this morning for this workshop, this brief workshop. EB Creative Media provides creative media solutions to help our clients bring their vision to fruition. We're How to create a better brand in 7 days. Hi, my name is Emery Barber, and I am the principal and founder of ebcreativemedia.com. And we provide creative media solutions to help our clients bring their vision to fruition. And we're glad that you joined us this morning for this workshop, because every time we gather, it's with that in mind. How can we help you bring your vision to fruition? And so let's get to it. Creating a better brand in 7 days can be a daunting task, but it's not impossible. And what we're going to provide today is just 12 tips to help you get started on the right track. Number 1, always begin with the end in mind. Before you begin the journey, plot the course, plan the work, and then work the plan. What is it that you want to do? What is it that you want to create? Is it a book that you knew that you should have written many years ago, but you never wrote? Perhaps there's been a melody and some lyrics playing in your head that you've never taken the time to write down. Or maybe you have a collection of songs and you've been wanting to do something with it. You didn't know whether you were supposed to sing it or whether you were supposed to publish it as a songbook. Now's the time to begin to plan the work. Work the plan. Begin with the end in mind. Since we're talking about brand, that's our focus today. We want to define our brand identity. Define your brand identity. Take time to really think about what your brand stands for and the values that it represents. That ultimately communicates the brand. Number 3, know your brand. Your brand is how you show up in the room. It should communicate the who, the what, and the why of a person, a product, or service. What is it that your brand represents? If you were to look at McDonald's, for instance, we see the golden arches. There's a reason why the colors were chosen. The arches represented for the M actually maximized the intent of the brand. And many of us, when we think McDonald's, we're thinking either their cafe series where we want some sort of cookies or muffins or special type of coffee. Others are thinking about burgers and fries. But part of the McDonald's brand also carries with it medical services to children. That's a very big part of their brand. And we're going to talk a little bit more about ethos and pathos as it relates to brand as well. But let's talk about it right now. That ethos communicates what it is that you believe. What is it that you hold dear? Pathos communicates what is your passion. And so sometimes when you're planning to do business or planning to start an organization, what people want to know more than anything is your story, because your story communicates what you believe. Your story communicates what you're passionate about. Do you support those who may be disenfranchised in other countries? Perhaps you support education for a particular group of people who may have been overlooked in terms of certain opportunities, and you take your time and your money and your resources and you support these types of things. And people then begin to incorporate that with your brand, because it's a part of your driving statement, your mission statement, what you're doing, where you're going. And so know your brand, know how you show up in the room. Number 4, take time to write down your mission statement. Communicate the who, communicate the identity, the what, what you provide, as well as whom you provide it to and why you provide it. These are things that you want to write down because it is part, as we talked about in an earlier step, that aspect of planning the work and working the plan. Take time to write down the mission statement. What is the reason why you're doing what you do? As it communicates that big W-Y, the Y, W-H-Y, that becomes the anchor point when things get tight, when things get kind of harried and you feel like giving up, and you need to remember why you're doing it in the first place. But it also begins to communicate to others what you will stand for and what you will not stand for, your why, your mission statement, your purpose, the purpose for which you exist. When others may say, I think you should do this, and I think that you should do that, naturally their response will help to ultimately form your brand as well. But if you are resolute to complete or to attack a certain set of goals, then you need to know your why. Take time to write it down. Number 5, answer the following. For what reason do you exist? This is going right back into that mission statement. Who is your target audience? Why is your product or service needed? What pain points do you resolve? So what reason do you exist? Perhaps you might be a chef, and you believe that you exist to whet the palate of everybody. But if you start out with that goal in mind, you might frustrate yourself because you are not familiar with who your target audience is. If you're whetting the palate of everyone, does everyone like the food that you make? Is the food that you make in alignment with everybody's lifestyle? Some people are carnivores, some people are vegetarians, some people are vegans. So you want to know who your target audience is, even as a chef. Why is your product or service needed? You might think everybody needs food, everybody needs my product or my service, but you have to begin to refine and wind down but you have to refine and begin to wind down where the rubber meets the road. What is a product or service that you are providing? Is it needed, or are you really about to enter into a market that nobody cares about? What pain points do you resolve? There has to be some problem that you solve. There has to be some solution that you bring into the marketplace. And so you want to identify this because that is also what you're going to communicate in your brand. Let's go to the next one, because we want to understand that the answer to these questions, as you hash out these questions and go through them, they're going to begin to communicate your brand in greater depths. And with this info in hand, you can be more ready to translate your thoughts to the visual aspects of your brand. I know I'm kind of going fast here, but if you have any questions, please place them in the comments, or feel free to forward them to us later, and we will reach out to you in greater measure. I want to say that I intended to be a little bit more personally invested in this workshop today. Had some challenges in my personal realm of things, but wanted to make sure, by virtue of my integrity, that I still moved forward with providing this information to you. So I look forward to developing a relationship with you, to get to know who you are, to know what you need, and how I might be better able to serve and work for and with you. Number 7, create or refine the visual aspects of your brand. You may already have aspects of your brand created, but you want to refine them. You want to revision and refocus. Visual aspects of your brand include your logo, your images, your colors, your fonts, the style, the size, and the sequence, as well as the placement. So let's go into that a little bit deeper there. I know I mentioned quite a lot there. When we think of visual aspects of your brand, they are going to include your logo. Your logo is a visual representation of who you are and what you do. Um, we mentioned McDonald's, we mentioned the arches. And so we'll understand that your logo may be something else. For instance, ours is EB, and you see our um, colors are representative of who we are. The purple and the gold are colors that communicate royalty, that communicate integrity, that communicate top quality. It communicates the service that we intend on bringing to our clients. And so yours may certainly indicate something else. You want to begin to think about these aspects. And certainly, as creative media consultants, we come alongside with you to provide some guidance in those areas when you hire us as consultants as well. Um, choose, number 8, choose and use apps to design your brand. Now, there's so many apps. That's why we actually use this graphic. There's so many apps that can be utilized to design your brand, but some of us don't even know where do we start from. I've been in the creative media solution space for many years, worked with a larger company, was number 3 in the world as it related to providing professional services to the marketplace. But I decided that in as much as the company was growing, there were some demographics and some needs that were not being met that I thought I wanted to approach personally. And so this is one of the reasons that we actually started ebcreativemedia.com. In terms of apps back then, the reason I mentioned that is that we would utilize, for instance, and I would say maybe ad nauseum, software that people may not even know about right now. Software like Quark Express, which was a desktop publishing software in terms of utilizing fonts and moving certain elements of paragraphs and titles around and having the flexibility to do that. We use things like Corel Draw and Adobe Photoshop. Adobe Photoshop being used to create layers to a particular document that could be moved and gradated. And while it was very complex, it required great specialty. There are, in the innovative aspect of the times, other innovations that make it a little bit easier to do similar types of things. And so I'm going to touch on some of the latest technology, just two pieces we're going to bring up to help us to understand that some of the things that we need to do are already within our reach. And so we're going to mention Canva, and you're going to notice a commonality. You're going to see me use some redundancy here, but it's intentional. Bear with me a second. Canva is a cloud-based graphic design tool used to create on-brand marketing content, sales presentations, training, videos, and more. Almost anything that you can begin to imagine you can do in many of the software that's provided. Canva is superb in this area because not only does it provide the application for you to begin to put these things in place, but they now have a wide array of templates that may assist you in getting started. You can simply put in, perhaps you're wanting to create something for the restaurant industry or a restaurant logo. You type in restaurant logo and it'll give you ideas of certain types of restaurant logos. Now, you don't need to copy that, but you get ideas. Someone said once that some of the best original ideas are borrowed. And that's not to say that we want to be those that are, piggybacking off of everybody's ideas, but sometimes certain images, certain designs can provide inspiration for you to go in another direction. Canva does that in a very superb way. They have smart technology that also provides suggestions that may help you in creating your sales presentations, your training videos, your on-brand marketing content. What I mean by on-brand, once you create your brand, which is going to incorporate your colors, as I mentioned, your images, your fonts. I mentioned um, the sequence. So there may be certain fonts that you would use for titles, another font that you might use for the body, and another font that you might use as your tagline. That helps to then create your brand set, as it were. And you can then save that in Canva and in other software as well. And that would be utilized in any template that you begin to use. You can just pull up your logo. You can just pull up the colors. You can just utilize the same fonts as those are preset. And so we provide training on Canva specifically as well, and guidance on how to utilize that. But Canva also provides training themselves. And so whether you'd like to utilize our services or get the premium service with Canva, we certainly recommend them. There's even on a daily basis new features that they're adding to it. Now I want to touch on Microsoft PowerPoint, which has been around much longer, and they've been developing on a regular basis as well. It used to be something that you had to download to your computer, but it is now also a cloud-based graphic design tool used to create on-brand marketing content, sales presentations, and training videos, and more. Remember, I said I'd be a little bit redundant. So a lot of the things that you can do in Canva, you've already been able to do on PowerPoint. What I love about the contrast between the two is that there are certain things that you can do in one that you might not be able to do in the other, or it may take an extra step to do it, or you might need to use a kind of cross-platform approach, maybe something like Photoshop, incorporating Photoshop and Quark Express as we used to do. Instead, you might use a little bit of PowerPoint for something, and you might use Canva for another. One that we didn't intend on mentioning, but I'm going to ask you to go ahead and take a look at it, is called Pixlr, Pixlr. And that allows you to modify certain pictures, create certain images, crop certain elements. Again, all of these things can be done mostly in Canva, but there's certain tools that you'll find that you can do certain things that you're looking for or imagining that may not yet have been developed in a particular app. Okay, I hope you guys are still hanging with me in this realm of things as we approach number 9. Number 9 is research and analyze the competition. See what works and doesn't work for them and use it to your advantage. Similar to what I was talking about, borrowed ideas. There may be something as you're doing your research. Maybe you're in the same line of work as someone else might be. And there's certain things that they're doing and you see them doing it well, but it gives you inspiration to add yet another degree of service or helps that they don't provide. And it would be to your great advantage to begin to research and analyze what those who are already in your space are doing and see what might work for you to add to your set of services as well, and what indeed doesn't. Number 10, develop a clear and consistent message. Make sure you communicate the same message across all your marketing channels. You don't want to seem like you're one thing here You don't want to appear to be one thing here and another thing in another place. It's consider your brand. As I said, it's show how you show up in the room. And so consider it as being that communication of your person. And you know, like if you meet an individual and they're one way in this particular crowd, but in another crowd they might be another way. Some people may misinterpret it, or it may actually show that they're fake and phony. And so you want to be consistent, because in your consistency you're going to build trust. It's going to communicate the integrity of your brand, who you are, how you show up in the room consistently. And the change should only take place by virtue of you making improvements, which you want to be very transparent and communicative about what changes you're making, why you're making them. Sometimes it may be as a result of feedback from your customers. Your customer base may have communicated that they would prefer this or they would prefer that, and you've heard it and you are responding accordingly. 11, leverage social media. Use platforms such as LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube to spread the word about your brand and engage with your audience. These tools allow us to build relationships with one another, but we want to maximize the moment to communicate who you are in these various spaces. There may be some that you reach in the Facebook realm, but you might not reach them unless others until you went to YouTube. You might not reach another demographic that you may want to serve unless you went to LinkedIn. So you have the opportunity to study who these various groups are, where they, what realms they dwell in, operate in, mix in, and certainly make sure that you are there presenting who you are, what your product is, the service you provide. Tell your story, be consistent about it so they get to know the real you and trust you as you move into their realms of marketplace activity as well. Number 12, we've been cooking with Crisco, as I used to say. Moving along quickly, focus on quality content. Quality content will help you establish credibility and trust with your audience. Quality content. What do I mean by quality content? Well, there's so many things that you can consume on social media today. And as consumers, in, for instance, the TikTok realm, there's so many things that are going by really quickly. Some things are pure D waste of your time, and other things add value. When you communicate your brand, when you understand what your brand is and you want to be consistent in the communication of your brand, you want to make sure that you are always being considerate of the time, talent, resources of those that have taken the time to listen to you, engage you, build relationship with you. And as you take that opportunity to take seriously who they are, what they're doing, you are providing quality. And that's what they expect. Whenever they see your face, whenever they see your logo, whenever they hear your voice, whenever they hear about your activities, they're expecting quality because you've been consistent and focusing on quality content and establishing thus your credibility and trust with your audience. I want to give you a couple of bonus tips. As again, I want to thank you for coming and participating, and looking forward to meeting you in the future. And so I'm adding 2 more. Number 13, and of course I have countless. Take advantage of search engine optimization. Optimize your website and content for the best results in search engine rankings. Now, when I'm speaking about websites, I'm also speaking about social media activity. In websites, there's something called meta tags. Meta tags is something that many people would rather not have to be concerned with, and you don't actually have to. You could hire a company like ours, Creative Media, providing that creative media solution as well, where we consider what you're doing. We look deep, do deep digs into what you're doing, who you are, the services that you provide. And we utilize terms in the meta tags, and these are simply descriptions or descriptors or tags, as they were, that are caught by what's called web crawlers, so that when someone is searching, for instance, jewelry, and we've added jewelry makers or jewelry distributors or the best jewelry on the web or something like that as a meta tag, then people who are searching for your product will find it with ease. Not only find it with ease, you'll show up in their search in a higher priority or a higher space, a higher location than those who don't have meta tags. And so that's very important. But also in the social media space, there's the use of hashtags. It's very much the same thing. It's a tag that is used to help people who are looking for you specifically. They may be searching for something in the social media space, and your hashtag that you've added to your comments or to your blog or to your story or to your reel, if you're in the Facebook or Instagram realm of things, will make you show up with not just priority, but frequency, depending on how many you use and what you use. So you can actually also research the frequency of hits on certain types of hashtags as well as meta tags. And we have a workshop where we go into that in greater detail. If you're interested in that, please certainly send us an email. Let us know that you'd like to learn more about meta tags and hashtags. And we'll be sharing that presentation as well shortly. Lastly, number 14, get feedback. Ask your customers and other industry professionals for their honest opinions and use them to make improvements. Don't just be so caught up in yourself, in your company, in your brand, and what you're doing that you're not being aware, considerate, or caring about what others are in need of, what others want. If you want to know, for instance, if you're, for instance, providing a service where you are giving consultation in certain areas, don't just blindly make lessons. Don't just blindly make educational courses on something that you think you want to teach. Find out what people are saying that they want to learn. Yes, there are some areas of expertise that you have that people may want, they don't even know they want it. People may need and don't even know that they need it. But more times than not, when consumers are going to look for something that they want to buy, they have an idea of what they're looking for. Ask them what it is that they want. Ask them for feedback on what you've already shown, what you've already provided, and it will help you in refining what you do. Well, this is Emery Barber again. I want to thank you for joining us here at ebcreativemedia.com. Certainly believe that by following these steps that I've shared with you, I've intended to share 12. I had 14 for today. I believe that even as you engage 2 of these each day, that you are certain to have a better brand, functioning brand, operating brand in just 7 days. Please contact me. Let me know how this is working for you. I am very much concerned about your feedback. I am dedicated. It is the work that I do and the call that I have to help you to bring your vision to fruition, particularly for the glory of God and the good of others. And so again, I look forward to connecting with you in time soon. Please share with others who we are, what we're doing, and look forward to our next workshop. We also have some that come with subscriptions and payment options. I believe that it will be an extreme benefit to you. We can also be hired to come alongside you and provide what we call gifts activation coaching. There's some things that have laid dormant in each of us, that perhaps we did not know how to get it out, so to speak, how to put that seed in the ground, how to manifest further that which the Lord has given us a glimpse of. We take joy in coming alongside as coaches to be able to help our clients to bring that to fruition. And so again, my name is Emery Barber, ebcreativemedia.com, where we provide creative media solutions to help our clients bring their vision to fruition. We look forward to serving you, and we thank you for this time again. Till the next time, may the Lord God bless you real good, and remember to be creative. God bless you.